Have you ever experienced somebody talking about different things and you learned that that's not normal, but you went your whole life thinking everybody did it? Or you learn about a new concept or a new term and you're like, wait, people can actually do that? So I want to share with you some different things that I have experienced like that. It wasn't until about a year ago, maybe less than a year ago, that I learned about something called aphantasia. I didn't know that everybody literally could picture images in their head. So I could never understand whenever somebody read a book, which I love reading, what was always so much greater about the book than the movie. And when I learned that people can picture images in their head and I can't, it made sense to me, because a lot of people are probably more prone to enjoy and like what they picture as opposed to what somebody plays on a screen. You can play it out how you want it in your head and it can be super cool and it's like tailored toward you and everything like that. I had no clue. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of jealous. It really bothered me for a brief moment. Another thing that I didn't realize is that a lot of people, their internal monologue is actually words they can hear. So, and if they can't hear, then they usually picture things, like they picture what they're thinking, or it's based off of emotions or different things like that. Well, I think in words, but they have no sound. So I don't speak, I have a non-voiced internal monologue. However, I also have to, a lot of times, like, have to have a strong or a tight connection, and I think maybe it's some kind of an emotional connection that has taken place. But I also can tend to have emotional blindness, which a lot of people don't realize about me, because I have learned to analyze the different things that people might say, or something might feel like, or whatever. And so I try to use the things outside of me instead of internally, based on my reality and my true experience. And so I've learned to be really good at looking like I understand by analyzing and using logic, which I recently discovered whenever an incident occurred, that I have defined so many emotions wrong. And I've come to so many incorrect conclusions about different things in my life because I didn't understand these things. I didn't know these things. And so I was trying to pick up cues around me, and based off of those cues, I would come to a conclusion. And I am really good at using logic, and I am really good at analyzing things. But in this situation, it wasn't really working out for me. And so whenever I've been trying to get help, it's made it a super big challenge. I kind of took a step back whenever I started realizing this, and I felt a little disturbed for a few reasons. And one was, I process death differently than other people. Actually, I don't even know that I process it, and if I do, I don't know how. And I also noticed, like, I say the words, I miss you, to somebody, and then suddenly I realized maybe missing something is supposed to have an emotion. Like, how do I really know that I miss somebody? Like, I don't have a feeling to it. There's nothing there to cue me. Although today I did think, sometimes, like, I was going to see my aunt today and I was going to be excited to see her or happy or whatever. It felt positive to me that I was going to see her. So I thought maybe for me, missing somebody looks like if I get excited whenever I'm going to see that person, maybe I missed them. Yeah, but then at the same time, what if I just saw them an hour ago and we both went separate directions for a little bit, and then I'm going to see them again and I'm excited to be with them, or I look forward to being with them. And so then I start really analyzing like all the things, because now suddenly I don't really know what I think or I feel about something. Like, I cannot tell you that I ever grieved a death before. I just go on with life. Although I had this dog, and he had to be put down, and ever since I put him down over a year ago, like a few years ago, I think about him a whole lot, and I can tell there's an emotional connection there. But whenever it's a human, like my mom who passed away, or my stepdad that passed away, there's no... So whenever people ask me, well, you can relate to this, can't you? Or, oh, is this a hard day for you? Because it's either like the day that they died, or it's a holiday, or something like that. And it's like, no, like, is this supposed to be? Like, am I supposed to have a hard time with this? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know. Speaking of analyzing, I also have learned recently, based off of conversations with people, that evidently, like, if somebody is in front of me speaking to me, they're not necessarily analyzing what they're saying, thinking about what they said, or wondering how it sounded. Did they say it right? Did it make sense? What's the other person thinking? They made a facial expression. Should I adjust how I'm saying this? Oh, am I looking them in the eyes? Like, am I doing this, that, or the other? My brother, it drives him nuts whenever people do not look him in the eyes. Like, when I talk, he will be like, look me in the eyes whenever you talk to me. And it's something that I've always tried to do, because I remember learning at a young age that it was respectful to look somebody in the eyes whenever you're talking to them. And sometimes I guess I can, but not, I don't know. It's weird, but I do it. I've done it. I've always done it. But I never knew that it was obvious. But evidently there are some people in my life who have been able to tell that it was obvious for me whenever it comes to doing such things. I also didn't know that it isn't common for a person to constantly rehearse a conversation that might happen in their head, rehearse a conversation that did happen, or to plan out what they're going to say, or what they would say, or how they would say it, or what somebody might ask, or how the person would respond. And if they asked this, then you could have these answers ready, or if they said this, you could have those answers ready. I don't necessarily do that while somebody is talking to me, or at least I don't think that I do. Maybe I do. I do know, like, I constantly, well, we've already talked about that, but yeah, that evidently isn't something that a lot of people do. It's not super common. Another thing is that I can be in a public place. Let's say I go to a women's event at my church, and they're all they're talking about something, and then a question is asked, and people start answering the question And when the first person answers, I'm like, that's not even what she just said. That doesn't make any sense. But every other person who answers the question after that person is answering it in the same way. I don't understand the way that people ask questions and what they're saying. Like, that is not what you said. I heard what you said, and that's not what you said. And how can you say this? Because that's not what they asked. But evidently, in everybody else's way of thinking and how people use words, that's what they said. And by the time I could have a response or have processed what's going on or whatever, then everything is too late, and I have no room to speak anymore. There's no place for me to say a darn thing. Here's something that does not make sense to me that is done. So growing up in school, you learn quotations are for, if I say something and you're writing a paper and you put quotations around it, it's what I said. Or if somebody, please forgive the example that I'm about to use. It is just the easiest example that comes to my head. Please do not take me wrong. I am so sorry for using this example. When somebody is like, oh, she's special. Now, so I get that. But a lot of times when people are making notes in medical records or just different things like that, there's different sections where they'll use quotes, and it feels some type of way. Like, why are you putting quotations around this? Like, she felt like that's how it feels. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And maybe they taught us this in school and I just don't remember it because it just feels uncomfortable for me. And maybe this has nothing to do with any of these other things, but I don't like it. It makes me very uncomfortable. And evidently, either people enjoy saying what you didn't say when they're writing medical notes, or they're reading into what you say. If I say something, I mean it, and if I don't know what to say, then I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to keep talking and blubbering around, and I'm going to blah, 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 and I'm going to sound like a blubbering idiot until like 15 minutes later, after we've already started talking about something else, then I interrupt all of a sudden, and I'm like, oh, that thing, and I start talking about it. People don't do that either, by the way. I mean, people do, just not like on average. I don't understand things like that. Like, is that something that is normal? Like, what does it mean? Is it a medical thing? Is there something that I missed along the way? Because if there is, I want to know, because I really feel quite personal about it sometimes, because it almost makes me feel like I'm being mocked, or like they don't believe me, or like they're being, I don't know. It just feels some type of way. When I say some type of way, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know. There is something that I want to apologize for the making of my videos, and maybe one day I will be able to understand and figure out how to get rid of my unnecessary utterances. I can't stand them. It's not something I've always done. Maybe I did, but then I stopped, and for some reason I have been using them lately, and it really stresses me out, and I'm so sorry. Anyway, these are just a few things that I think about, and I think that there's probably other people out there who also do. And also, I just realized that I should have had my camera turned sideways the whole time that I was filming these videos, and it probably isn't going to take up the whole screen if you're watching this on your TV, and I apologize for that. I also hope that this didn't seem like a pointless video or me rambling, because, well, I am a rambler. I do ramble, but I can speak. Like, if I have something that's really on my heart and I get up in front of the church or something to speak or to do public speaking or whatever, like, I just say the things. But anyway, I'm gonna head out, and I'm gonna get this video ready to post it. Hopefully it gets watched. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If there's something that really struck you in this video, or there's something that you're like, oh, what about this thing? I really would love to hear about it in the comments. Have a great day.